everybody, I'm Latrina Patrick. Welcome back to our grant writing tutorial. Today is day 3 of our 90-day grant writing tutorial. Basically, at the end of this 90 days, you will have enough information to feel confident about your abilities to successfully submit a grant proposal. That is definitely my intention here. And so basically over 90 days, you're getting a grant writing workshop spanned out over that period of time, and every day we'll cover a different topic. And my vow to you and my commitment through this process is to upload a video every single day on a different topic about how to write a winning grant proposal. So we kicked off a couple of days ago. So far we've covered the basics, which is what is a grant, who's eligible. On day 2 we talked about what it means to become a 501c3 organization and the various designations. So today we're going to pick up on types of funders. There are basically 4 different types of funders. You have individuals, you have corporations, foundations, and government agencies. Now let's talk a little bit about each of those. Individuals is basically anyone who has money. A philanthropist or a wealthy individual can give money however they choose, and a lot of times what they will do is set up a foundation, or better yet, work with an endowment, set up an endowment through a community foundation and give money that way. So they will allow the community foundation to oversee the endowment, and that community foundation will then start a process so that people in that community can apply for those funding for individual projects. It's a very effective way for philanthropists to give money out without them having to make all the decisions on their own. They get the help from people who are skilled at doing that, and it's just a very simple way for them to give away their money. Now, corporations and foundations there are some similarities there, and the reason why I say that is because most corporations, though they give through a multitude of channels, they primarily give through foundations. So a corporation will often set up a separate foundation to give out money to their community. Basically, say for example, an Aflac or Target or Coca-Cola, they all have foundations that they have set up to give money out to the community, and they'll have specific guidelines and eligibility requirements that foundation will make available to those individuals, organizations in that particular community so that they can try to access those funds. Foundations are also included in just a traditional type of foundation is, say, like a Campbell Foundation or Woodruff Foundation. Those are huge foundations here in Atlanta that were established by wealthy families, that those foundations are how they handle their giving. And those are major foundations, but those are traditional foundations where people will often seek for money, and they are set up all over the country, all over the state. You can find a variety of those, and we'll talk a little bit later this week about how to access those foundations, and I'll give you tips throughout this process about how to apply for those different entities. And then the government. The government is the most common and the most rewarding ones, in the sense that they typically have larger pools of money that they award, and they definitely award larger amounts of money, so you have more organizations applying for those types of dollars. Under the government, the most popular and the largest funder under the government agencies is the federal government, and then you have state agencies that give money. The state government does that in each of the states, and you have city and county, local municipalities will often give money as well in their communities. Not as much or as often sometimes, but they do award grants in their communities for different types of projects. Federal government, they have a lot of standards, a lot of criteria, and very specific ways to apply for their funding, which is typically through grants.gov. I won't get into that today because that's going to take a little bit more explanation. So I plan to discuss that in the next 2 days, either tomorrow when we discuss the RFA, which is a funding announcement, or we'll do it separately on the next day. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I definitely know that we will cover it in the next 2 days. So I don't want to get too much in there. The other thing that I really want to stress about federal money and just pursuing these various funders in general is don't chase dollars. I tell all my clients and nonprofit organizations all the time, you don't want to get into the habit of just chasing dollars. And here's what I mean by that. Sometimes a nonprofit organization will hear about money, and they'll hear that, oh, the Atlanta Falcons Foundation is giving money to, like Girls Inc. organizations or whatever, or I heard about a grant through this organization, let's apply for that. What happens is your mission and your overall intention can often become diluted when you start chasing dollars. The best thing that I will tell anybody when it comes to trying to pursue funding and trying to pursue funding that you're actually going to be successful at is to find the good matchup. So you want to seek out those funders who support the types of activities that you do. That's the best thing that you can do, as opposed to just trying to find little money here and there, because you lessen your likelihood of getting funded if you start chasing money that's not a good fit. So when we talk about foundations and corporations and government agencies who give money, you want to make sure that you're reading their criteria and being as objective as you can and looking for common links. If they are looking to do cultural programs and they support the arts, well, they're not likely going to give money to Girls Inc. or Boys and Girls Club unless it's around a specific art program or something like that. But you want to find the best fit, and so you want to do your research, because this process, as you're going to learn over the next coming weeks, is very labor intensive. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of hard work, and you don't want to spend all of that effort into writing a proposal that you already know is not a good fit for you, so you're probably not going to get funded. You want to make better use of your time. So my number one rule to my clients and anyone seeking my advice is never chase dollars. Never chase dollars, so I want you guys to remember that. So that wraps up this tutorial on types of funders that are out there. I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments about anything that I've mentioned today, please make sure you leave a question and that comment on this page on our YouTube channel so that I can receive that and get back to you, and so that others can also see that may have similar questions and want those same answers that you're seeking. And while you're at it and you're on this page, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way, whenever I upload a video, you will get instant notification that it's available, and you can run right over here and look at it right away. Now, also, I will be sending out email updates every Monday to give you an overview of what we're going to cover that particular week. So if you want to make sure you get that, run over to my website, www.greatervisionconsulting.com, and sign up for my email updates, and that way you'll be sure to plug in on those days that you definitely know you don't want to miss. And for doing that, you will get a free Grant Writer's Toolkit, which includes a budget template, a sample proposal that tells you everything that goes in a grant, resource page that has all kinds of links and references for anybody that wants to write grants, and a sample letter of support / letter of commitment that you can use to solicit support from your community partners when you're ready to submit those grants that you're going to be submitting after you finish this tutorial. So make sure you run over to the website and get that, www.greatervisionconsulting.com. Tomorrow we'll talk about the RFPs and the RFAs and the funding announcements and what all those acronyms mean, and it's going to be a great discussion. Can't wait to see, and I will see you tomorrow.